maybe someone will come check it out. And anyway, I'll just put it on. I'll put it on as a YouTube video anyway. All right. So
Where are you located? What country you're?
I'm in Frankfurt, Germany right now. I grew up in the
You're
States,
okay.
but I've been living over here for about 14 years. And
Okay. I'm trying to think. Have I seen you on some of the World Crypto Net?
yeah, I usually call it on the call-in day, whatever it was it called, a talk show.
Yeah. I thought I see your video is upside down a lot.
Yeah, right. So now I got a new camera. Now I'm right side up.
Yeah, I thought you were familiar
Yeah.
because I communicate with Will and because I'm in the same state as Will. He's down in
Okay.
Milwaukee. I'm up closer to Minneapolis, but
Okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
and like Christoph and those guys, I I keep in contact with those guys. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a screen share. Hold on, let's see how I can do that. Just a second. There we go. And I just had quickly the prices lately. Um, this is kind of Bitcoin Wisdom changed their overview. It's kind of cool. So if you go to bitcoinwisdom.com, then you get a quick overview like this, and it has today, 24 hours, 7 days, and 30 days. So it looks like Bitcoin is down a little bit because, like what you were talking about, that FBI auction is coming, and we can discuss if it makes any sense for people to be freaking out about it. But people have been kind of freaking out a little bit and have sold, so it's been going down. But I noticed,
Yeah,
yeah. What do you think about
my thoughts on it were obviously I don't like them going and taking people's Bitcoin. Um, it I think buying it from them kind of encourages them to go and steal more from other people.
it? It could.
Um,
It could. I think we
it's
can wait. We can wait and see. I look at it. I mean, yeah, okay. It is kind of, or it's not kind of. It's actually it's a really good display of what goes on anyway, because we've got the government, the police confiscating all kinds of stuff all the time anyway. You know,
oh, it's
and
been that way with the war on drugs.
exactly, exactly. And now it's war on
I mean,
crypto. And
yeah,
okay, they say it's Silk Road, and that's war on drugs or war on terrorism. But I mean, basically, they're confiscating stuff left and right, and of course, they resell stuff on auction that before the person has been convicted, or they just say, yeah, there's no clear owner of this car or this yacht or whatever, and they just go ahead
yep.
and sell it. So, I mean, this is business as usual, and
You
I think now it exposes a lot of people to how that works every day. About how the government. It's a good display about what kind of violence the government really uses. We're really seeing it firsthand. I mean, you could. I think the what was the name of the guy that you were interviewing? It's like that artist guy. What was his name?
Yeah, Shambu, Spain.
Right, the Spain guy, yeah. So, I mean, he also had kind of like he wants to bid on it, it seems like, or at least he's on the list. And he also
He,
had kind of mixed feelings about it, I think.
yeah, he had kind of mixed feelings. He was more interested in it just to find out what the price was going to be. I
Yeah,
think he thought maybe that they were going to send him how much they were asking for it or something.
yeah.
But um, from my discussions with him, I had a lot of, or I've talked to him quite a bit off the air, and he seems like a pretty decent guy. You know, I don't I don't like to judge people, and I I erroneously I caught half or I went into his first interview with Matt Bitcoins a little bit late, and I missed the first part, and I heard him say something, and I called him out on it, and I was mistakenly heard what he had said, and
Hmm. Yeah,
and
but that's cool. I think you kind of cleared it up on that with that interview. Yeah, I wanted to try to pull up a list of other bidders. I mean, we had the Spain guy, the artist, like you interviewed him, and we know a bit
yeah,
about him. So right now, let me try to do that screen share thing again. Uh,
yeah, and I didn't really look into the other people that had bid
well,
on it
I think you
because
should go. I think it's interesting. I mean, I took a little time to look into some of them, but okay, like for example, I don't really know this guy, Falkenstein or Stein. And we've got,
that's the one I was most curious about was the professor.
yeah, that's this guy. Yeah, maybe it's similar to that Spain guy that he's just kind of interested and maybe he thought of it as an investment or who knows, but we could look into that. Then you got the CEO for Second Market, which that's really interesting because Um, I think Second Market is where you can buy. That's for Second Life, the virtual reality, or well, I don't know what you call it, not virtual reality, but this like 3D
Oh,
world.
that transhumanism?
Second Life, yeah. Because I
Oh,
had
is that like life after death thing where
no,
you
no,
upload?
no. It sounds like it though, but it's not. No, it's been around for a while. So Second Life is a kind of 3D uh,
Like an
social.
online video game?
It's kind of like a Oh no, I got it wrong. Shit, it's the wrong guy. Second Market. Okay, anyway, it's not what I thought.
Oh,
But I know it's but Second Market is I noticed that they are offering that people um like sign up and they want to like let a bunch of people bid as a group. That's what I
okay.
understood that Second Market's concept was. Yeah. I don't think
Yeah,
Second
so
Market
it
has
was like
anything to
a
do with Second Life. I
cooperative
got mixed up.
to, it was a cooperative to pool money together to buy them to
Exactly.
try to get them at a
Exactly.
discount.
So then you got this guy from Yelp. Um, then you got Little Phoenix Investment Group. This is pretty interesting. You got BNP Paribas, which is a really, really big bank. And it's also interesting, it's the guy that's the head of something called quantitative arbitrage. I mean, I know a lot about what arbitrage is, but quantitative arbitrage is basically what all these big banks are doing. They're committing arbitrage, uh, buying and selling on different markets simultaneously, and they're probably doing it in a really high tech way. So that's definitely a really big bank that's interested in it.
Yeah, from what I understand, and with the stock market, what they do is, they have like bots, then scripts that follow the headlines and the news stories even, and they pick out keywords out of the news stories, out of like Associated Press and all the top news agencies that
Hmm.
pick out keywords, and the bots actually, the computers, the artificial intelligence in the computer actually makes trade decisions for them and buy decisions for them.
Yeah, I've heard
So
about these. I heard about these ones based on Twitter and other signals. But I mean, yeah, it could be. It could have. They probably do all kinds of stuff like that. But I mean, I think it's interesting that a bank. I mean, it's not. It's interesting because banks are inherently part of the fiat system,
yeah,
and that they're taking. And basically, this is a list of people that are long on Bitcoin. They see this is not going to be. These are not people that are going to buy it and just sell it at market price right away.
yeah,
These are all people that are going to see a long term. So I mean, we've got a big list of people, including banks that are part of the fiat system that are all really interested in getting this gigantic pack of bitcoins. I mean, yeah. So I think that's pretty interesting.
and I've never traded using arbitrage, but I do watch it for. I got an app on my tablet here
Hmm.
that where I watch the prices on the other markets just to keep an eye on them. because sometimes you'll see another market from the one that you actually have your investments on do something quite dramatic, and it's like,
Exactly.
holy shit, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if you had funds at both markets, then you could do arbitrage. That would be basically a real simple version of arbitrage. And that's just, I mean, banks are doing that all day. Also, a lot of crypto traders are doing that all day. But I
Yeah.
mean, you can decide if it's worth your time or not. But anyway, so I think that's why one reason that Bitcoin has gone down in the last week or so. Um, I mean,
And
these are going to be, it doesn't really make sense. These are going to be bought off market. They're not going to be bought at an exchange. And I think that the people that take the time to bid on these are long on Bitcoin. They have some kind of projects, hedge funds, or whatever for Bitcoin. So I don't think they're going to be dumping. I was thinking that probably they'll be sold for over market price because they're not having to go to an exchange. How much higher than market price do you think they're going to go for?
no, I don't think they're going to go over market price
No.
because
Hmm.
the reason all these people are getting in on it is to get them cheap, I think,
Hmm.
because that's the that's the only advantage I can see of getting them through there, other than being able to buy a large quantity at once. Because I know of one guy that was a while back that was trying to buy like $1 million worth of Bitcoin at once.
Hmm.
Uh, one of my friends, and he was having a hard time finding any place that had that much, you know, that he could buy at once because he was trying to do some international deals, and he likes to do them through Bitcoin because it's less hassle.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think that yeah, I mean you might be right, but I have a feeling that the FBI is going to start the auction pretty close to market price. And
Well, they're
I
sending
have a
in the
feeling
bids. So,
I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling. I mean, I might be wrong too. It would be interesting if we're going to be able. I don't even know if that's going to ever be disclosed. It depends on who buys them.
no, they're
But
sealed bids, so they're just sending in their bids, and whoever has the highest bid they sent in gets them.
that's how. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, it sounded like that when I read the FBI site, but we don't know exactly what it's going to go for. But I think would be interesting to know. I mean, my prediction is that it goes above market price, 10 or 20%. But I mean, it would be interesting to see how much of a premium they'd have to pay for these confiscated coins. I also have a funny theory that maybe the FBI messes something up. Maybe they tried to re-secure the wallet and they forget the password or something like that, or they send it to the wrong address. I don't know. I mean, they did this thing with the email. Maybe they really mess up the whole transfer of the
Oh,
bitcoins. You know?
that could you imagine that? I would be just
That would be crazy. Okay, let's. So I've got the prices up for the others. I saw something really weird though. It has here prices for Bitcoin, and over a 30-day period, all prices are down except against the Russian ruble. It's up 5%. So that's really weird. I guess the ruble has been falling faster than Bitcoin. Maybe I don't know. I haven't kept track of that of the
well, did
ruble
you see the thing
as a
that
currency.
Vericoin just put out, that map Vericoin just put out, um, saying most of their traffic is over, I think it was close to 50% of their traffic is coming from Russia.
Oh, sure. Russia has a lot of people interested in crypto. There's no doubt. And we got Litecoin is down. You can see all the red here. 7 days last week down around 3%, 4%, depending on the currency. And we've got the altcoins, and they're going totally crazy as usual. And there's this one Vericoin.
Yep.
I think what is it? VIRI, I think, coin, and yeah,
VRC, yeah,
VRC
Vericoin.
up 122%. So that's got to crash down at some point. But
It crashed
no,
today,
I
kind of.
it didn't crash yet, but if I see something that's up 122% of the
Well,
charts,
it
look at these
crashed.
up.
It
No,
was up to
here it is.
three.
It did crash. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, because
Whoa, that's a crazy. Look at that big red candle right there.
yeah, I was watching it fall this morning. Um, it because I'm invested in that,
Okay.
and I've been watching it for a couple weeks at least.
Well, a couple
And
weeks, then maybe you're okay. I mean, I don't have the chart. The chart doesn't go very far. Here we go. Looks like here we go. Yeah, well, a couple weeks ago it was down here. Now you're way up here, but that's a really big candle for one day. But anyway, even with that red candle, it's still up 122% in the week, which is pretty nuts.
yeah,
Um, but I guess for altcoins, that's normal. Next is up 50% for the week. Um, what else did I find? Here we go. Nautilus coin up 87% this week. I don't know. Are you familiar with Nautilus coin?
no, I haven't really looked into them too much, but I'm
Well,
kind of
basically, uh, man, I forgot the name of the guy. There's a guy on a CNBC, and he launched the coin. So it's basically like his little project. And
awesome. Yeah.
Nautilus coin has, I guess, the main feature is that it has a stabilization fund. So basically, they've created a fund which is gonna um, buy when it gets too low and sell when it
Oh
gets too
yeah,
high.
yeah, they're the price fixing coin.
Kind of,
That was
yeah,
one
a little bit like
I
price
really
fixing. Yeah,
wanted
they
to
want
stay
to.
away from anything that did that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's a good discussion. I mean, in some ways, maybe you're right. You could say it's like price fixing. I think some of the other altcoins basically have that anyway, with people kind of holding up the price, pumping it up, or whatever. So I mean, you could call that it's a kind of
Yeah.
manipulation. But the stabilization fund is at least it's basically in the open and yeah, the idea is just to make it stable. But I don't. I'd have to look into what the exact prices they said are the target stabilization. But I did what Nautilus Coin or the Nautilus Coin community is sponsoring MMA fighter Jon Fitch. Are you familiar with MMA?
I haven't watched it for quite a while, but I do know who Jon Fitch is.
Yeah, so they're sponsoring him. I mean, he's in that. He's not in the UFC anymore. He's in that other one. Uh,
Bellator?
No, World Series of Fighting, which is also on NBC. And
Okay.
yeah, so they're going to be sponsoring him on the next fight. And I think it's just, I don't think it's going to be like on his shorts or whatever, but it's going to be like on his little poster in his corner, that banner, and some
Hmm.
other stuff. And it's kind of interesting. So what happened was Jon Fitch says you have to have $10,000 worth of funds to be, I forgot what it's called, like level B sponsor and
Hmm.
the Nautilus coin community or and people that were donating raised about 5,000, and he said, "Okay, that's enough. I'm just going to put 5,000 of my own money on top of that." I mean, he's sponsoring himself basically,
Hmm.
but he just was really interested in the whole cryptocurrency thing, and so he kind of like supported it himself too. So that's kind of interesting that a fighter is. I mean, of course, the fighter is interested in anyone sponsoring him, so he has a
Yeah.
motive, is motivated. But on the other hand, I mean, he seems pretty interested. I mean, I've just read his tweets. He seems really interested in the whole Bitcoin and cryptocurrency thing. And so we've got kind of like a trend here. We got Dogecoin sponsoring NASCAR. We got a BitPay sponsoring a college bowl game now. I think St. Petersburg Bowl is now the
Yeah.
Bitcoin Bowl. And now we got Nautilus Coin sponsoring Jon Fitch, at least for one fight. So okay, it's not really like building an economic. It's not really building an economy or infrastructure, but it's getting exposure for cryptocurrency, so it's not totally negative, in my opinion. What do you think of all this sports sponsorship trend stuff?
Well, I don't get I got rid of my satellite dish about a year and a half, 2 years ago, so I don't watch regular TV anymore. I just
Yeah.
have Netflix,
Hmm.
and so I don't get any of that regular programming anymore,
Hmm.
and I really don't miss it. I I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, and I just, I search out the things I'm interested in. I follow Twitter, I'm on Facebook, and
Yeah.
I watch I watch the stuff I'm interested in, and I'm not bashful about contacting people I want to talk to.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I think I think we live in a world now where people aren't as off taken by if a stranger contacts them and says, "Hey, can I talk to you about this?" as
Hmm.
they used to be.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, like this. I mean, you and I have never talked before, but
No.
we're having a conversation here, kind of like
Sure.
we've
Yeah,
been old friends.
that's true. Yeah. Okay, I also found
But
another. So I found on the chart it had WorldCoin that's up about 20% in the last 7 days, and it's really been going down like crazy. And now it's suddenly there's a little green candle there. And
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, WorldCoin is I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it has a kind of like sleek marketing campaign and nice logo and all that stuff. But that was more back ages ago in 2013, which is really ages ago in crypto world. But yeah, it looks like there is a little surge, a buy surge there over at Crypsia of WorldCoin. And let's see what else did I have. So we did Nautilus Coin, Vericoin.
I wanted to ask you about Darkcoin, what you think
Yeah.
is going on there.
I mean, Darkcoin is basically, yeah, the premier. Not the. It's not actually. No, it's wrong. It's totally wrong. Actually, it's the leading anonymous coin, is in terms of price and in terms of trade volume. Of course, we had before anonymous coin, also just
Mhm.
called Anon coin sometimes, and there's Fedora coin. Both of those were, again, ages ago in 2013, created and launched, and they're still going. I don't really hear much about Fedora Coin, but I think that it's still active. The price is really low. And Uncoin, the price is still pretty okay. And Darkcoin, yeah, Darkcoin just exploded because it uses a different algorithm. It uses
Mhm.
that X11. I don't know if it was the first one. I don't want to say it's the first one that used X11, but it might have been. I think it was the first one that
Yeah,
started that. And they had some issues about a week ago with one of their
the
master
master.
nodes.
Yeah, their master node payments when they did their RC3 upgrade, and they had to reboot all their master nodes, and that messed up the exchanges,
Yeah,
and they they went down quite a bit on the exchanges. And then it was when they did their RC4 upgrade, they kind of had the same thing a month later
yeah.
or a couple weeks later.
So you can see it in the price. There's this really big red candle. That's when they had this master node problem right there.
Yep.
So yeah, yeah, they had, but I mean, I guess to be honest, I'm not totally updated, but I think that they solved whatever problem it is. And yeah, that's an ongoing thing if that's good or not. I mean, they have a different way to make their transactions anonymous. I think with ring signatures, but Question is if it's okay to do it with these master nodes, because I mean you see that it makes it a lot less decentral with the master nodes, and there's tons of copycat anonymous coins and some with good intentions of really trying to do something
Mhm.
innovative. Um, yeah, okay, I've heard of the last day's Razor coin, and yeah, of course there's Made Safe, but Made Safe is a whole nother
MaidSafe is kind of
discussion.
a whole platform.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion in my opinion in
Yeah,
itself.
I want to really get Paige on or somebody to discuss MaidSafe. I'm
Well,
really
I mean, I
curious about
kind
it.
of I kind of got it. I mean, I saw it's yeah, you can also connect to the network instead of proof of stake. It's also just kind of like I don't know what they're calling it, but basically you can connect your hard drive or a hard drive to the network, and then you're part of the made safe network, and then I think I can store something on these hard drives, and I think I can use it in the same way as I can use Mastercoin, Next, or Counterparty too. But I think it's going to allow people to store things as well. But it's without a blockchain, so that means that it's anonymous. It also means you can't track your transactions if you wanted to, but
It only, from what I read this morning, it only saves the last transaction, I believe. So they can't backtrack like you can on the blockchain.
right. So there's no chance of blockchain forensics. That's going to be
Right.
a new profession. So I think in 5 years, we're going to see in the newspaper in the classified section, big companies hiring blockchain cryptocurrency forensic expert or something like that, to track back whatever kind of transactions and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
But
I know
yeah,
Christoph has that program he's going to be releasing this week. The what is it, CoinJoin Sudoku or whatever?
what is he going to do? He's going to release an updated CoinJoin because I know that.
No, it's a forensic analysis for
Yeah,
it's because he found some problems with CoinJoin
yeah. Well,
and
basically, he broke it. I mean, he figured out how to track it down. Yeah, he figured out vulnerabilities in CoinJoin, from what I understand. So he's going to be
yeah.
releasing in the next days or the next week the whole paper or like a
No, it's
program.
actually a computer program he
Uh,
wrote to track the coins,
wow.
and but he contacted blockchain.info first,
Hmm.
to give them a heads up about the um, problems before he released this on the world, as a so they knew what was going on because
Oh, that's cool.
he's not a bad guy. He
No,
doesn't want to.
He's not doing it maliciously. Quite the opposite. No, I think it's really
Right.
interesting. It's really important work because if people didn't do that, then people would use CoinJoin and think they're anonymous, and they're not. And I think that's one thing that he and a lot of other people point out, and that it's really important. It's a big misconception that Bitcoin is anonymous. Well, it's not really anonymous. I mean, you can make it. Well, I wouldn't really call it anonymous. What I like the word obscure. So you can obscure your transactions and your actions, but you can't really hide them totally. So you can, and
Right.
I think coin mixing in general, I'll admit I'm not a technical expert, but not coin mixing in general, I always looked at as just obscuring. I mean, it's just making it really difficult or a little more difficult to track the transactions, at least to an untrained eye or an untrained program. But yeah,
Right.
like he's probably going to show us, it's not so hard if you have the right program um, just to
I
go at
liken
it.
it.
And
I liken anonymity to waking up from a hangover and finding a napkin with a phone number on it in your pocket and trying to figure out who that phone number belonged to because there's no name to it or anything. You just
Yeah.
have numbers.
Yeah,
It,
that's true. Well, I mean, yeah, both have numbers, so that
you,
is
it's
similar.
difficult to find out who that number belongs to, but
Hmm.
with a little bit of work, you can do it.
That's true. Well, you could call it, but then they would know that you might, I mean, you could just see who answers. That's one technique.
Right,
Yeah, but with Bitcoin or something that wouldn't work if you just sent them some funds if you didn't know what the address was. But
right.
okay, so I had another topic I wanted to talk about. Let me do the screen share. Um, oh shit. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I was also looking at a little bit of a different topic, but similar, and it's good to follow. I was looking at the silver and gold prices, and yeah, they finally have started going up. So if you look at a longer term chart, let's say here,
Yeah, silver hadn't moved. The price of that hadn't moved in almost 2 years. It was down around 19,
yeah,
18 and a half, $18 an ounce.
exactly,
And
yeah.
about a month ago, I sold off half of my silver holdings
Oh
to buy
shit.
Bitcoin.
No shit. Oh well, you bought Bitcoin with it.
Yeah,
Well, that might not have been a bad thing. I mean, if you bought Bitcoin with it, that's maybe all right. But I mean,
I'm not
yeah, you'd
crying
have to.
over it.
Yeah, but it just went up. Well, here's 5 year gold. I mean, it's a longer view, but I mean, you can see 2012 um, right in here, and then 2013 it really went down. You can see there's
Yeah.
really a big support there at 1200.
I made a ton
Now
of
it's
money off of the when it hit its high in 2012. I sold a
okay,
bunch and
right
made a ton of money then.
up there, yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, at least you were able. But I mean, it's always good to hold some physical silver and gold. I always tell people that are really into Bitcoin they should have some metal too. So yeah,
Diversify.
here's the 24-hour chart. I mean, you can see it's pretty active and it's pretty much going up. You know, um, okay, it's about what $20 difference in the day, but I mean for gold, I think that's pretty good. I mean, it's nothing compared to some altcoins, but that's a decent amount of movement. Head over to
Well, it's
silver,
more
it's a similar
stable than
story.
altcoins too.
What now?
It's more stable than altcoins too.
Yeah,
You're not gonna
yeah,
buy an ounce of gold and lose half its value in a couple hours.
exactly. Yeah, it's a
That
store. It's a store of value. It's real money, and that is something that people forget. Currency, money, and all that stuff. That's almost like a whole other show. But I mean, yeah, you're totally right. It's more stable, and you have it in your hand. And I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages to both crypto and metals. But I think you need
the
to have both.
one thing I always tell people too is when I first got into metals, I
Hmm.
went and I bought these big 100-ounce bars.
Yeah,
Those, if you want to sell them, can be difficult to sell.
yeah,
Um, so if you're going to buy metals, buy the smaller denominations like the one
exactly.
ounce bars.
Exactly. Now, I always tell people to buy silver coins, and I even encourage just go ahead and buy so-called junk silver. I mean, it's a really bad term, junk silver, but all that means is like quarters, 1964 and older, or
No.
circulated coins, because you're going to get a really good deal, and people recognize them. They're probably not fake, um, and yeah, you're going to get a good deal. It's going to be easy to sell them. It's going to be easy to store them. You're going to be able to divide them up really easily. You're not going to have the situation like what you're talking about. And okay, they don't look as nice and shiny as a Canadian maple leaf, uncirculated or whatever. But I think that's the best way to go. But
Yeah,
yeah, we.
I like to. for just straight up bars, you can get those usually at just a little bit over spot,
Mm-hmm.
and I can sell those when I need to in town here at spot, so I don't lose much value if I need to sell them for cash in a hurry.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. So, yeah, and I also look at some of the base metals, but basically I just pay attention to copper. I don't know if you're familiar. I mean, of course, you know what copper is, but it's also going up in the
What's
day.
aluminum?
What now?
Do you have aluminum handy there?
I don't have a lot of aluminum, but in the States, I've got a good collection of copper. So basically, I encourage copper pennies. So 1982 and older American copper pennies are 95% copper.
I was just wondering because somebody took my pop cans that I left for my garbage this morning before I even finished taking them out.
Well, maybe they were, scrapping.
But
Maybe they were
I've
scrapping.
never had anybody take them that fast. I hadn't even went around the house yet.
Well, maybe they were scrappers.
It was kind
Anyway,
of spooky.
yeah. Okay, let's see here. I'm back. Yeah, well, maybe they were scrappers, and they wanted to get as much metal as possible. But yeah, like my tip is pennies that are 1982 and older. You can still get them for 1 penny from the bank or from shops or whatever, and they're worth over 2 cents in metal value.
Yeah,
So
I think 2.4 cents now.
no, I don't think they're 4 cents. I think they're more like 2.5 cents. But we can check over at
I think
Coinflation.
2.4.
Well, there's a really good site, Coinflation, and there, all you do is you type in how much of the coin you have. They have these really cool thing called a coin calculator, and you can just check out how much it is. So you go here, coin calculators. They've got a bunch of different ones, but the main two, well, they don't have a bunch. They have two, but they've got a silver coin melt calculator and base metal coin value calculator. So you can really see, we're talking about currency and money, so you can really
Yeah.
see how much this stuff is worth. So if it's fiat backed by the American military and the fiat system, or is this
Group of
coin
fours.
right, or is this a coin that's backed with its metal value as well? So it's really easy to check out. It's quite interesting. So let's first check out a current penny that's in circulation, and you just type in how much you got. So let's say we've got 1 penny. Calculate the value. All right, so total melt value is 1 penny, it says,
Hmm.
but that's not exactly true. It says here the exact value is 0.0057 cents. That's the
Hmm.
real value of a penny in circulation right now. So if we go back and we say, okay, let's these pennies that I'm talking about, pre 1982, including the wheat penny. Let's say we had one of those. Let's see how much that's worth. 2 cents.
Hmm.
So that's doubled the value. So you just go to the bank, you get a bunch of pennies, sort them out, and you doubled your money, or at least you doubled the value. And what's really cool about this page is they have links to copper cent auctions right here. So you can check out the eBay auctions and you can see really what the market price is for this. And yeah, so there's also you can check out the value of nickels, dimes, etc. Nickel in circulation right now is pretty interesting. So let's say we had 1 nickel, and I think it's almost worth. Yeah, so it's worth 4.8 cents, 4.89 cents. So when you sold your gold during that high time for metal prices in what was it, 2012?
Hmm.
One nickel was actually worth 6 cents in a metal value because
Hmm.
nickel, it's made of nickel and copper, and the price was so high. Yeah, so these nickels that are in circulation right now are actually have, I think, about 70% copper. So that's a pretty good deal for just getting these nickels just out of your pocket change or from shops or from banks or whatever. So that's a pretty good deal. Anyway, pennies and nickels are a lot more stable than altcoins.
Yes,
And they're a lot less
but
exciting.
not but not for their fiat value.
Yeah, exactly. But, they're stable. And yeah, and then the ones that I pointed out are really made of metal. So that qualifies as figuring this stupid screen thing out, real money. I mean, it really is a um, intangible, inherent value to those coins. So
Well,
that's good.
I was saying, um, I was saying earlier this morning that I was going to take just a chunk of steel or something and take a engraver and like you print out a paper wallet for Bitcoin,
Yeah.
print out the paper wallet and then transfer those numbers onto a chunk of steel with an engraver
Yeah.
for my paper wallet of my Bitcoin wallet.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Why not? I mean,
Then,
that would be your own metal wallet, basically.
yeah, then you got a hard wallet that's not going to be that's going to be fireproof.
Yeah, that would be fireproof. I mean, I guess you could melt it if it was a really hot fire, but
Yeah,
yeah, you could. That's a good way. I think that's a creative way. I mean, if you were able to store that in a way that you wouldn't forget it or whatever. But yeah, I think paper is cool, but yeah, it burns. You can throw it away. You can lose it.
gets wet.
The ink maybe goes bad in a few years. It's a pretty short term cold storage, I would say, 1, 2 years max for those papers. I mean, the paper is probably still good, but I don't know. I would get a little nervous if it really had anything on that wallet. So you always have to update all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff. Yeah, I read that really awful story on Twitter. I forgot that person's name, but they lost all their bitcoins they had at Coinbase, and they were storing all of their coins at Coinbase, and they lost
yeah,
everything.
and it's sad that it's not the first time I've heard of this happening with Coinbase.
Yeah.
Another friend of mine has had that happen, and we have a Facebook site set up for people that are having this problem to help them.
Oh yeah, I think
And
I saw that link. That was probably you that posted the link. Yeah, it's like everyone that
it's
got screwed over by Coinbase or something, right?
no, it wasn't that. Let me see. I'm looking for it now. It's Bitcoin Emergency First Response.
Okay.
Let me see if I can share this screen. And oh, whoops, because um, Jamie Redmond, he had a problem with losing some bitcoins the same exact way. He had two-factor authentication set up, and
Mhm.
I'm not sure if they're getting in to the actual Coinbase account or
Yeah.
if they're getting to the Google accounts and going in that way. But
Yeah,
in
I think
either
the
case,
person had a Google account. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it's easy to hack into Google Mail or somewhere. But I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, if apparently Coinbase didn't really have a great reaction from what I understand, but I don't know what they could do, and
yeah,
if it really is a problem with Coinbase, then I don't know what what exchange are you supposed to use? Because okay, you got Bitstamp. Well, Bitstamp has had some issues lately too, not with being hacked, but necessarily, but about them asking people for a lot of extra personal information if they sell, I don't know, a decently large amount, let's say 50 bitcoins or more. If they try to cash out, then they get like emails, oh, why are you selling? Where did you get these coins from? Just a whole lot of questions, and there's some really crazy Reddits about it. Then you got okay, where else am I going to buy coins from? I'm not going to send fiat money to BTCE. I'm not going to send fiat money to. I could send fiat money to Kraken. Kraken is a pretty good site, I think. You could probably. I haven't heard much bad about them.
Yeah, and like where I live here,
Mhm.
we don't have any Bitcoin ATMs within several hundred miles, at least. I think the nearest Bitcoin ATM for me is Chicago, which is, a 7 hour, 8 hour drive.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, that's not going to be worth it unless you're going there anyway. Um, yeah, I mean,
did
so,
that show
well, you
up on
gotta, well, people
me?
have to build up I mean, Bitcoin is built so you don't need exchanges in theory. So
Yeah.
people have to build up their local networks of, buying and selling, and we have to build up a real economy that's pure crypto and not just always exchanging back into fiat, you know? I mean, as soon
Yeah,
as
and it makes it real hard here in the States to set up like a Bitcoin ATM. If there wasn't all these regulations, I'd set up a Bitcoin ATM out in my front yard.
well,
But
is there a lot of regulate? What state are you in? Are you in Wyoming?
no, I'm in
I said
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Well, it has a W, so that was right. Um, uh, are there a lot of regulations for setting up an ATM or something like that in Wisconsin?
Well, anything to do with US currency and trading it for another currency, they've already cracked down on that. So now, if you set up a Bitcoin ATM, you got to apply for all these things for Security and Exchange Commission, and
Just for
it's
ATM, a one-way ATM, not so just one that sells. You put fiat in and you get Bitcoin out, and not sell Bitcoin. You have to have a lot of There's a lot of regulation for that.
as far as I understand, because you're
I would.
trading
I
you're
would.
trading fiat for Bitcoins.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you could also, if it was a state regulator, I would say, yeah, I'm trading fiat for magic internet money, and you don't have to be worried about it. But yeah, there's this really cool thing, open source Bitcoin ATM, and that's pretty cool. And there's a
That
you can just
Skyhook one.
what now?
There's that one, I think it's called Skyhook, that they have. It's like $999.
Oh
They
yeah, I
have a
saw that one
premium
too.
one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a lot cheaper than some of the other ones. I mean, it looks smaller. Yeah, this open source one you build yourself, I think it says costs about 650 bucks for all the parts, but it shows you how to make it, and yeah, that's also pretty cool. Or you could get one of these sky hooks for 1,000. It's not so much more, and yeah, if you had a place where people would actually use it, then it might be worth it to get one. But yeah, I think that you should check the regulations more closely, because I think that if you're just selling bitcoins for fiat and not doing it the other way, where you sell bitcoins and you get fiat in return, so a one-way ATM where you just put the money in, you get bitcoins, and it's not possible for me to put bitcoins in there and get money out. You know what I mean? It's just one way. I think that has different regulations for both of those, and maybe there's
And they're
less
going to want
regulation.
sales tax off it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's state to state. I'm not up to date on how that is from state to state. If there's sales tax for selling magic internet money, I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to want their 5.5% here. And then there's zoning regulations.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's zoning regulations. I mean, you just have to have a business that would just put it in there. You just say, okay, you got, a bar or a internet cafe or I guess they don't have internet cafes anymore. Some kind of cafe you know, or even a kind of like a co-working or communal office space. Um, where people meet sometimes, and then you could have it, or definitely a way that would probably get around a lot of regulations. So you just have one, and whenever you go to a event, you just bring it with you. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of action, but that would work too. Just whatever meetup or whatever you go to, you're the guy with the ATM, and
Yeah,
you
I've heard of people doing that for Bitcoin meetups and such, where they
yeah.
they just bring their little ATM with and set it on the table there
Well, if
because
there's
they've
new
had a hard
people,
time finding a
yeah.
home for it.
Yeah, if there's new people, it's a good way. I mean, the basic advantage of ATM is that it's a real easy way just to buy Bitcoin. I mean, it should be easier for us to do peer-to-peer local trades, and it is pretty easy actually. It's just I think that we have to build that up more, and also these trustless decentral exchanges are also really interesting. I know that the counterparty one works. I guess the Mastercoin one I haven't tried out, but I've tried the counterparty one, and it works. It's not really fast. It's not like a normal exchange, and it's not for fiat either. I mean, you already have to have Bitcoin to start. You got to have Bitcoin and buy some counter wallet or whatever it's called, counterparty. I mean, and then you can buy assets on the market. But it doesn't work the same as the other exchanges. But it works, and there's no middleman, so that is kind of cool. So there's going to be these decentral exchanges where it's similar to peer-to-peer, but you don't have to meet the people in person. But yeah, it's not going to be with fiat. I don't see a solution to that. Getting the solution is that that we pay each other for services and goods in Bitcoin. That's the solution, and that we
We
don't
use it
change
as
back to
currency.
fiat.
Yeah, we use it as currency
Exactly. Exactly. We
and
need to use it as
not just
currency.
saving it.
Exactly. We need to use it as currency, and nobody wants to sell their bitcoins or buy something with their bitcoins. Like, for example, be the pizza guy, that's bought a pizza for 10,000 bitcoins, and now they would have been a millionaire. Nobody wants to do that. But on the other hand, it's a currency, and yeah, the spice must flow, right? You gotta have,
And
you know,
I mean, it's anything, the value is going to change in it over time. You buy a new car, you lose 20% of the value when you drive it off the lot.
that's true.
You gotta, you throw your money in there and don't look back at the price you paid for it because that transaction is done with.
Definitely, yeah.
I
So,
mean, if you're gonna, one thing you can do, I suppose, to average out your buy price is to not buy all at once and to increment your, if you got, say, $1,000 and want to buy Bitcoin or an altcoin or something, not buy it all in one chunk if the price is varying a lot, is to, buy some now at this price and then buy some at that price when it
exactly,
changes.
exactly.
Um,
I tell people the
I
same thing. Some people say, Theo, should I buy Bitcoin? What do you think? And I say, well, you have to decide yourself. I'm not going to say that you're going to make a lot of money or something like that. But if you want to buy Bitcoin, then you should either buy a whole bunch at one time or buy it, like you said, every week or every Friday or every Monday. You buy $100 worth or whatever, however much you want, and you just do that consequently for every week, no matter what the price is. then you're going to be better off, and you're good. Like you said, you're going to get an advantage from the price fluctuating. And with the altcoins, well, yeah, you could have 100%, 500% price difference depending on the week.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's about the best way you can protect yourself from, you know, the price fluctuations that I know of. If you're going to be a investor in something that rapidly changes price.
You're right. That's definitely it. Okay, so
Um,
all right. I also have you ever heard of Max Coin?
yeah, I heard of Max Coin. I haven't looked into it. I had mentioned on my show the other day that I had just actually heard about Max Kaiser a couple weeks ago or whatever when Peter Todd was on his show. I saw that he was going to be on there, so I watched it, and that was the first
Mm-hmm.
time I ever even heard of him or Max Kaiser. So, but
Okay.
apparently
Well,
he's
who's this other guy that you saw? I had never heard of him. Who's this guy who was on
Peter
Max
Todd.
Kaiser? Peter Todd.
Peter
What does he
Todd.
do?
Oh, he's a cryptologist. He works a lot on Bitcoin stuff and does I'm not sure if he's involved with Dark Wallet or I think that's what he was involved with was kind of working on the anonymization technologies or whatever.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure on that anymore. I thought that's what he was
Into
involved with,
prices
and then
antics and stuff, but
it's
anyway, yeah, they're gonna make someone is gonna produce a silver coin, Max coin, like a silver coin that has 50 Max coins on it. That's kind of cool idea. And some people said, yeah, we don't know, maybe Max Kaiser abandoned Max coin because this other coin came out called Start coin, and he's also has something to do with it, but in reality, it just yeah, there's this crowd funding form called startjoin.com, and it's pretty cool. You can
yeah, I
sign up, and
saw
you
that.
can yeah, that's pretty cool. And so this start coin is kind of related to it a little bit. So basically, the idea is that you use start coin to help fund people's projects. That's one of the main ideas. But I think you can still mine start coin, but the thing is, it was pre-mined a lot, and they want to do a so-called airdrop and give it to people that are active on startjoin.com. So I don't know exactly how much you get or whatever, but I have an account and I put my StartCoin address, so we'll see how much I get. But I think it's an interesting idea, and it's definitely worth. And it's an experiment, like a lot of stuff, but they're
Mhm.
trying to encourage this whole, crowdsourcing and giving kind of thing. So I think it has potential.
Yeah, and I had just saw Start Join, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, start join.
Start Join. I had just came across that today because it was the Vericoin guys, the developers, are trying to raise funds to go to the Bitcoin Chicago
Yeah,
conference
I saw
using
that.
Start Join.
Isn't that really soon?
That is in about a month or 3 weeks, I believe, the
Okay.
Bitcoin Chicago.
hmm So
And
I wanna fly to America to visit my family, and I'm gonna try to go to Cryptolina. You know, Bit
in Raleigh,
and Cryptolina.
you were breaking up quite a bit there.
Yeah, in Raleigh. It's gonna be in Raleigh directly, and Yeah, my computer is doing something. Maybe
Oh
it's
yeah,
setting
you're
this
a
up.
Mac man, aren't you?
I'll tell you. Let's see here. What now?
You're a
No,
Mac
I'm not
guy,
on
aren't
Mac. I'm on
you?
Windows, but I guess my laptop is like it's about I don't know 5 years old at least. Mac? No, I don't like Mac.
Oh, I'm not a big Mac fan either. I'm just blown away by Android. I just got that Nexus tablet a couple weeks ago, and that's just amazing to me. But yeah, I just heard about the Raleigh
Yeah, it's
thing.
pretty cool.
Um, yeah, I think it was Jeff Berwick said he was going to that. Do you know who he
Yeah,
is?
yeah. Jeff Berwick is going to be there, and they just confirmed. I'm looking it up right now. It says oh, I don't have his name. It says conference announces former U.S. Mint director as headliner. So they're going to have Jeff Berwick and a former director of the United States Mint is going to be there who's pro Bitcoin. So that's also interesting. Let's see here. It's Edmund Moy, former director of the United States Mint,
Hmm.
appointed by George Bush in 2006. One of the highest ranking former government officials to speak out for Bitcoin. So that is pretty interesting too, in my opinion, to see what he has to say. I mean, you can't get more fiat than working for the U.S. Mint. Well, I guess you could work for the Federal Reserve, but
Yeah.
that's pretty up there. That's a pretty interesting constellation. Jeff Berwick, former head of the United States Mint, and a bunch of other Bitcoin advocates. They've got like three or four lawyers too. I wonder what they're going to talk about. It's pretty interesting. I can go to their
Yeah.
page.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, I've been chatting with Jeff Berwick for quite a while, and I didn't realize he was so famous until recently.
Yeah, he's pretty famous.
And I I was kind of taken back when I found out how famous he is,
Yeah, he's pretty
because
famous. So here I got
he's a really nice guy.
I'm trying to show my screen. Okay, here we go. Crypto.
Cryptolina,
All
the
right.
defining Bitcoin event, 50
Downtown.
days.
Yeah, downtown Raleigh. Here we go. Yeah, Edmund Moy, 38th director of the U.S. Mint. That's pretty
Hmm.
crazy. The guy, the founder of BitShares, is going to be there. That's pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Um, Professor of finance at Duke University. Why Bitcoin magazine. Jeff Berwick.
Okay. Elizabeth
So here we got
Cloche.
there's an attorney right here. Yeah, Bitcoin Foundation, BitPay. Yeah, yeah. I think she just got hired by BitPay.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
do
So
you
here's
feel? What do
one,
you think about this
two.
Bitcoin Foundation?
Um. Well, yeah, I have mixed feelings. Like I think a lot of people. I'm a member, kind of indirectly. Became a member because in Germany there's an organization similar, but it was just for Germany. And
Hmm.
basically, what happened was the Bitcoin Foundation reached out and is trying to reach out to a lot of international local organizations and be kind of like a partner. Yeah,
Hmm.
so theoretically, I'm also in the Bitcoin Foundation because I'm in the BVB, which is the Bitcoin group Germany. So, but yeah, I've got, of course, like people were saying, let's see. Bitcoin Foundation is my yeah, it's really business oriented, you know, and
Mhm.
that's good. But I don't know. They do a lot of stuff that's yeah. Nobody wants it to be really centralized. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to them, people from the outside looking at Bitcoin and hearing Bitcoin Foundation and the way Bitcoin Foundation acts sometimes, and people think that's like the Bitcoin Authority, you know? That's like
Yeah.
the chairman of the board of Bitcoin for outsiders that don't know anything, and it's not. Of course, it's not.
Like to control Bitcoin, I think a lot of people have the
Exactly.
misconception that
Exactly.
everything has to go through the Bitcoin, um, through them for it to happen in Bitcoin, and it doesn't. They're kind of like, oh, they're a charity set up to advance Bitcoin, but they don't have any direct influence on the protocol or anything. They can't make decisions on it themselves because there still needs to go through the actual protocol process and all of that to actually make a change to the protocol.
Exactly. But, you know, for I think so one aspect of Bitcoin Foundation is like what I said there. I think that probably so-called outsiders or people that are interested in Bitcoin might hear about the Bitcoin Foundation or hear stuff they say and think, yeah, this is like the board of directors of Bitcoin. But it's not, you know. And that's one thing. And yeah, there was a really good point. We've got to look who was on the foundation or who is on the foundation. Well, the guy that ran Mt. Gox, he was on the Bitcoin Foundation, right? Then we got a
You
um, BitInstant guy. He seems really cool though. I don't have anything against him. Uh, what's his name? Shrim or whatever. Yeah, BitInstant. He
Charlie
seems really
Trump.
cool. Yeah, but the problem is that, or the issue, it's not necessarily a problem. It depends on how you look at it. But the issue a lot of people have is that now the government has brought him in connection with Silk Road. So that's automatically
Yep.
a negative in the media. So you got like Mt. Gox is related to the foundation indirectly. Now BitInstant is related to the foundation indirectly, and that's kind of there's a new guy that got elected to a higher post, and he had some kind of issues that people were kind of freaked about. But I mean, in the end, yeah, people have to. It's I think there's also a lot of misconceptions. Um, the Bitcoin Foundation is member run, so I think all the members can vote, I believe, and yeah, it's a member run organization. So
Do they set up
theoretically,
like scholarships or
yeah, they
anything?
have a lot of money. They have a lot of money, and they do support stuff like scholarships. Yeah, if they see projects they think are good for Bitcoin, they'll
Hmm.
support it, especially development stuff. I don't know, improving, yeah, all kinds of technical stuff, testing code. I think that one of the guys said they're even looking for code testers right now.
Okay.
So really boring, mundane jobs. They're looking for people. I mean, you have to know what you're doing, but it's not really that sexy what they're looking for right now, I think. But yeah, they support
Just the
projects
people
too.
that do it.
Yeah, they support projects. So that's the advantage, and I think that's one thing that people. I guess they get money from their member. They get money from membership fees, and if you're I think if you're a company and you represent your company and you're on the Bitcoin Foundation, you have to pay more. But I don't know exactly. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I have to look into it about that. But anyway, yeah, I got mixed feelings, and it came up because you mentioned what's her name? Let's see here. Um,
Elizabeth Fauché.
yeah, because yeah, she's in the Bitcoin Foundation, and what happens? Big surprise. suddenly she works for BitPay. Or
Yeah, she got a job there right after she got on the Bitcoin Foundation.
yeah, so that's kind of weird. And this is the kind of stuff that people don't are suspicious about, and they should be suspicious about it. The thing is, it's a small world right now, and it's not such a big community as we think in the big scheme of things. So, yeah, I mean, it could happen, but of course, that is, something else. Here's another guy that's going to be at Cryptolina, Todd Erickson, also a Bitcoin Foundation. I haven't had time to check it out, but this sounds interesting. College Crypto Network, that sounds pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Also, the guy from Liberty.me is going to be there. So it sounds like they've got a
Oh,
good
is
wide.
Jeffrey Tucker going to be there?
Who?
Jeffrey Tucker
Let's see. I
from
don't.
Liberty.me?
Hold on. No, Matt Gillard or
Oh,
Matt
okay.
Gilland. Gilland. Sorry, Mount
Oh,
Gilland is going to be there. But
because I
that.
saw Jeffrey Tucker, I know, is going to this Las Vegas thing that
Oh yeah.
is Liberty Fest or something like that, for Freedom Fest or something. And I looked at the speakers there because I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll go to that. And when I saw the list of other speakers or the people that were going to be there, I was like, boy, I don't want any part of that. All it is was a lot of government people going to be there. And I'm like, boy, that doesn't sound like freedom to me.
Yeah, well, you have to look into that and see why it's like that. That's interesting. Yeah, so I think that this Cryptolina is turning out to look like a real interesting thing. They've really assembled a decent amount of speakers, and yeah, I'm curious to see who else is going to be there because they've got a lot of empty spots here to be announced. So they must be talking to people that are just not confirmed yet. Uh,
Hmm.
so it looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting event. But I guess North Carolina is pretty far from Wisconsin. That's like what, 12 hours with the car direction east, right?
Oh, I checked Google Maps yesterday to see how far it was to Raleigh, and
Yeah.
it's like a what was it, 19 hours straight driving from my house.
Yeah, that
So
sounds about right. You could
so
fly, but that's more expensive. But yeah.
yeah, it's not overnight drive, or I can't just jump in my car and be there in the morning even.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
But
there's
the
the Bitcoin.
Bitcoin Chicago,
Mm,
I'm pretty interested in going to that, even
mm,
though I absolutely hate going to Illinois,
mm-hmm.
uh, and Chicago especially because it's like the murder capital of the United States.
Is there like a rivalry between Wisconsin and Illinois?
I think there's a rivalry between the United States and Illinois just because Illinois, it just anybody that lives in the country just hates Illinois because of all their stupid laws. They made it a felony to throw a cigarette butt out your car window.
Felony.
Yeah, they'll throw you in prison for littering.
That's pretty crazy.
I mean,
That's pretty crazy. And
the land of Lincoln.
where I live, the funniest or craziest law. Well, it's not that. I guess it's not that crazy. If the cops catch your dog pooping on the ground, you got to pay a 70 euro fine. So you're supposed to like pick up all your dog poo. So if your dog poos, you got to like pick it up in a little plastic bag and dispose of it. And if they catch you not doing that, you got to pay. So what happened was when they started that law, all over the city there were these really funny signs. It has a picture of a dog, taking a
With
taking
the
a poop, and
ass on
like
its
with
butt.
yeah, exactly, yeah, really, and it has
Yeah,
a sign, 70 euro. I mean, they don't enforce it a lot, but I guess that's like a kind of entertaining law. And they have they don't have it's not a felony to throw a cigarette on the ground, but I think they have like 50 euro fine or something like that. It's pretty high. I mean, but yeah, they don't really enforce it. I mean, it's just like a threat. You know what I mean? Theoretically, they could. I mean, you see cops, throwing cigarettes out of the window themselves. Probably in Chicago too. I wonder how many cops throw cigarettes out of the window. And then you see someone smoke, and they throw a cigarette on the ground, and they say, "Oh yeah, I saved 50 euro."
Yeah. The I mean, it's pretty crazy. I had the cops put a warning on my car for parking it on my lawn, on my own property.
Whoa, that's
It's
weird.
illegal to park my car on my property because it's not paved.
What? Really? In Wisconsin, even, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I got really mad a long time ago in the States. I parked the wrong direction, but right in front of my house. And I woke up in the morning, I had a ticket on my car. And I just thought it was the stupidest thing. I didn't do anything. I was just parked, but I just happened to be parked in the wrong direction. It's just a small street, just
mhm.
kind of, scoot in right in front of your house. And yeah, they gave me a ticket for that.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just
anyway,
weird.
I think I want to end it, but thanks for joining me, Jamie.
Oh, it's been a
And
pleasure, Theo. Anytime.
yeah, sure, we'll see. Maybe I'll do another spontaneous one, or if something
Yeah, if
happens.
you want to schedule something too, I'm available usually, this time pretty much
Okay.
every day.
Okay, cool.
Um, but yeah, it's been a pleasure. If you want to send me the link or whatever, I'll share this on my YouTube site too.
Okay, good. Sounds good. All right, I'll send you the link right now on Twitter.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. See you.
Bye.
Bye.